Hello and welcome to another episode of intelliTALKS. My guest for today is Max Sinclair from Ecomtent. Sorry, I missed that.
Ecomtent.
Welcome.
Hey.
Ecom, yeah. I'm from Romania. Don't judge me. It's late in the afternoon here. So yeah, Max, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here, Marcel. I'm looking forward to being with you in person in New Jersey in a week or two.
Yeah, that will be a huge event. I'm also very eager to see how it goes. And yeah, it will definitely change things from the e-commerce and Amazon perspective. That's for sure. But yeah, let's see what we can talk about today in today's podcast. Like we have a very interesting theme in terms of generative AI and future of e-commerce. Sounds very, very futuristic. So AI is a topic I'm very close to. I love it. So artificial intelligence is great. Is not like those, taking over the world robots that will not come, not anytime soon. That's for sure. And even if they do, we do have John Connor who will save us. So we're good. That's from the Terminator fans out there. But yeah, let's dive into it. Max, tell us a bit about generative AI and what do you think that is?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you say, Marcel, we're it's become a buzzword, right? And it's all over Twitter and LinkedIn and everywhere else. And I think it might be kind of surprising for some sellers because like AI has and people because AI has been around for forever, right? Like AI has been around since the 1950s. We've all got AI in our phones, like when we're looking at Google Maps and kind of moving from A to B in the quickest way possible, or as we're looking to rank on Amazon, like I used to work at Amazon, all the search engines and stuff is based on AI. So I think it's super important for people to understand this distinction between what the scientific community would now call like deterministic AI and what we have, which is new, which is called generative AI. And as I said, like deterministic AI has been around forever. It's basically used for data classifications and regressions. So, the classic example would be, looking at thousands or millions of cancers of cells and like trying to classify which ones have got cancer and which ones don't based on like pattern recognition, or doing what, I used to do when I was working at Amazon, where you're kind of looking at parent and child ASINs and trying to merge ones which are duplicates, or kind of backfill refinements to certain ASINs where they, which should have certain properties. And what we've had now is we've had this, this kind of new technology, which is the generative AI. And this is, in some ways very different from the historic deterministic AI because it can actually create new content. So you can, use it to create new text, images, music, video, code, whatever else it is. And basically you take a model, you train it on the existing data, and the generative AI will create something completely new. So it's quite a big distinction, and it's going to have some absolutely enormous implications.
That's definitely there. And also for everyone that doesn't know, Max used to work for Amazon, so he has like very deep, let's say, knowledge about what's happening behind the scenes there with Amazon. And I'm sure
some extent, yeah.
Other people have never seen that, so you have a huge advantage for the most of us. And yeah, I'm curious, how would the sellers like be implementing all this, AI and into their business, especially into their Amazon business, preferably in a good way, so Amazon don't flag their listings or something bad happens around it.
Well, I think to kind of draw on the first point you made about the Amazon site, right? Like Amazon is absolutely, in my perspective, having worked at Amazon for 6 years and having many friends who still work there, is that Amazon is absolutely grabbing this kind of generative AI by the horns. If you look at Andy Jassy, the new CEO, kind of came up through AWS, right? So this is completely in his background. It is by far the most, it's by far the biggest opportunity that's come to him. He's I was there when the transition happened, and then we had COVID, and we had kind of like, he managed through some pretty tough times with Amazon over expanding and then having to like cut back in terms of warehouses and even staff, as like lots, people were laid off. So like, he up to this point, he's had a pretty, in my opinion, rough tenure. Like, this is an amazing opportunity for him to really get to grips with something he understands deeply and kind of make Amazon a leader. And like, they have all the tools to become a leader. They have AWS, which is like the most advanced, computer and machine learning systems in the world. They've just released Bedrock, which is, fundamental. We use Bedrock, right? Like, it's got all of these AI models built into it, which you can then build on top of. And you're really seeing like Amazon, go with the reviews and the text descriptions. And so I really believe that kind of Amazon will have to be on the forefront of this, and it really is demonstrating that it is going to be on the forefront of this. So like my recommendation to sellers would be to lean in, understand this, and lean in fully, because that's what's happening in the business, for sure. And then kind of to get to your second point of like how right now, how can these sellers implement this? I think there's a number of different ways, right? Like you can use it in SEO to identify new trends and long tail keywords, faster than you would with deterministic AI or even manually. You can do product development, and as we just touched upon, Amazon's really kind of helping you to do this with their summary of the reviews. But you can take a bunch of reviews, put them into ChatGPT, look at key themes that are coming out. You can pretty quickly, I think soon you'll be able to have this kind of far better conversationalized kind of customer service with customers on returns, on your Instagram, on all the channels that you interact with customers, to just enable you to have a great customer service powered by this generative AI. And then lastly, what we're focused on at Ecomtent is obviously the content generation, like the lifestyle images, the infographics, the optimized text, like all of this kind of stuff. Very obvious kind of use case for AI, and that's one that that we're focused on.
Yeah, definitely. So with Amazon sellers and selling on Amazon, AI is like a key, because from my perspective, it buys you a lot of time, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of automating and also improving your way of working. And while other people think that AI is here to take over, and take their jobs, I personally look at it from the improvement perspective, because
absolutely,
you can definitely do a much better job, an even better job. So why not do it faster and provide more value and more, let's say, good things for everyone in the house?
Yeah,
why not?
Absolutely. And if the internet kind of enabled people to go and build like a global, commerce business, whereas before, you'd have to set up a local, business in your high street or whatever. Like, the internet changed this. This is absolutely another transformation whereby all of many of the kind of drains, I say in a nice way, on an Amazon seller's time and money are gonna just be automated very quickly. And I think this is gonna really open the floodgates for like a new wave of sellers, enabling people to, with much smaller teams, to do a whole lot more, have much better margins and really move a lot faster, and iterate very quickly and split test a lot of things. I think it's super exciting in my mind, and it's absolutely great for the sellers in my view.
Yeah. That's awesome, because you can take much more faster, let's say, actions in terms of some of the things that you can touch point on. And AI right now is like the internet was in the year 2000. And
exactly.
A funny story, I was knocking on businesses' doors back then. Literally, I was going to them, and I knew how to create a web page, like a simple one, a presentation one. And I wanted to make some money to get them online. And they were like, I don't need to be online. I'm selling in my store here everything. Why do I need? What's internet? I don't need it. And look what's happening. Like, 23 years later, everyone is just one click buying online. Same with
Yeah.
AI. Things are evolving. We need to be on top of it. And as an entrepreneur and seller, definitely is very important. But Max, tell us a bit about Ecomtent. How was it? Let's say, how did you get it started, and what was the reasoning behind it? The story, the hidden things. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, as we've discussed, right? I was at Amazon, and basically my co-founder showed me, this is in September 2022, Stable Diffusion, like the very first public model. And when I say public, I mean like generative AI model that you could build on top of. And he showed me this, a few days after, it launched. And I said to him, you put in a text and generate an image, like, we're all very used to it now, but like even a year ago, it was, it just seemed completely magical. And I said to him, like, could you put a product in this? Like, could I take this like glass of water or whatever and put it in the image? And he said, yeah, like, and kind of built like a very scrappy demo over like 2 days, and it kind of turned out a little bit like how Midjourney would be now, where it's not quite the product and the dimensions have slightly changed and it's a bit funky, but you could see, in a few days, like you could see the potential, and that's when we started, and it was an amazing. I just felt like it was an amazing opportunity, given, like something that was not possible, a few months ago was now possible, and that was the start line. And I kind of immediately felt, well, like 90% of the content on Amazon is going to be, or on marketplaces, is going to be AI generated in a few years. So we started basically then, like 2 weeks after it was possible to do so. We've been building since then. And ChatGPT came out in November last year, and that that absolutely blew up in a way that I couldn't have imagined. And it really helped us, right? Because like suddenly everyone, like something that was a bit alien, which was like you type in something and you get out the input. It was confusing, right? And it was like, I think back to like our early tool, like sellers were like, what is this? How do I use it? But then suddenly, like from November onwards, like everyone got it. Like immediately they could see how it worked, and they kind of had this intuition, and like everyone like loved ChatGPT and like had all these. So that really kind of helped us in many ways, and yeah, we've just been building since then. And now, like, we started just doing the images. Now you can do the entire listing, and we're going to continue. And I'm it's just very exciting.
Now I'm curious where it's going, but for everyone out there who doesn't know what Ecomtent is actually up to, please explain what you actually do, because I find it very, very interesting, and it's let's say a huge step forward from every perspective of the e-commerce business, not only Amazon.
100%. So right, like with Ecomtent, all you need is an image, like from a manufacturer of your product, and a few bullet points, or what just a few let's say
key selling points, or
key selling points, details about the product, whatever,
right.
And you can generate the entire listing, the lifestyle images, the infographics, and the text. I mean, everyone's pretty familiar with the text, right? It's like most people know what ChatGPT is. Like, we fine-tuned a model which is like better than just using ChatGPT, because we've trained it on like high-performing Amazon listings. But you can imagine what that is. But then also you have the infographic and the image generator, which is kind of new. We're still, I'd say, like, we're still pretty unique in that. I don't know how long it's going to continue, but like for now, at least, whenever this is published, I hope we're still like pretty unique in being able to do that kind of A+ content generation and infographic generation, as well as the lifestyle images. So yeah, that's basically what we do. We're just focused on, optimizing the listings for conversion, training on top of like a lot of good data we now have, making sure like we're helping the customers basically to convert better. And like, a lot of customers are spending a fortune on ads, right? And kind of getting loads of impressions, and like our focus is like let's drive up that conversion, right? Like that's going to save you a lot of time and money. So yeah, that's what we do.
That's incredible. And just to explain everyone, you just need like to rephrase what Max just said. You just need a photo from the manufacturer. You need like the features and benefits of the product, just so you know what you're talking about. And through a series of prompting and through a series of prompts, you can generate images, different type of images for your product that you can later use on your listing, on your store, on your social media, so anywhere that you need. But Max, how can people think about the prompting, and what would be let's say a pro tip for them in terms of creating the right prompts for outputting the best results, so to speak? Because you've looked behind the scenes, and
So I'm excited to be in New Jersey and to kind of give this talk live, because I have paid 11 students from the Toronto University. They have been labeling up all of our customer prompts, tens of thousands of images generated. They've been scoring them 1 to 10 on output quality and 1 to 10 on accuracy. Like, so how accurate is the prompt to the image, and then like how visually appealing is the image, both on a 1 to 10 score. And we've been drawing some, like, we're doing two things. Obviously, using this to fine tune the models, but also we're like trying to educate the sellers, customers on this. And I'd say like there's a few things that come out, like I can say as like tips. Number one is the number one with prompting is experimentation, right? It's an iterative process. You will need variations to get to that perfect result. And like, we see this in the data. People who go for 5 or 6 prompts rather than 1 or 2 are going to get going to be able to hit a higher quality output. Just by that experimentation. Number 2, I'd say is like the specificity. You should try and avoid using stuff which is too vague. You want to have stuff, you want prompts to, in the image domain at least, say like where this product is, like my product on an X, and like, give a bit of background about, how you want to see that. And then third one, and I'll pause after this, is accuracy. So you need to be, concise and grammatically correct in your prompting. If you're kind of making spelling mistakes, or like, we do see this, right? Sellers who kind of are saying, or customers who are saying stuff which isn't quite grammatically correct, like the AI is going to have a hard time, right? Just by nature.
Understanding. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is, what would be, can you give an example of let's say a very good prompt to use? For example, we were using that glass. Can you put that glass on a table, and what would the perfect experimentation can bring up a lot of perfectness along the way. But what would be the a very good prompt to use to position that glass on a table or something? What do you think?
So the best structure of a prompt should be subject, in or scenario, location, and then the descriptors. So for the glass, you would say the subject will be the glass, so glass, in or on a table, as you say, and then you would put in some descriptors at the end. Now, this could be like in a bright and airy room, or like a well-furnished room. You could also, like in that situation, if you were doing something with a human, you could say like with a woman behind it or whatever. If you wanted to have a human, but slightly different products, maybe you'd want to, maybe not glass on a table, but for some other stuff, maybe you'd want to have like camera lenses in there. Like talk about what camera lens, maybe, for example, if you're doing something outdoors, you might want to reference like an outdoor camera lens. So yeah, it would be subject, in or on the scenario, location, and then some descriptors.
I'm curious, if you're selling, for example, I don't know, cat collars or something like that, can you actually put that collar on a cat and design an image based on that?
It's harder. Being transparent, it's harder to do that. It's not impossible. it depends. It depends on the type of product, right? I think we being transparent. That's one of the hardest things to do with the AI.
Right now, but in the future, never know.
Oh, in the future, definitely, right? In the future, like without shadow of a doubt. But right now, like I would say, you would need a lot more experimentation and playing around to get that. Like it's not impossible. We also have something on the tool which is the edit mode, so you can kind of draw in like a pen, like something, and then generate there. So another way of doing it would be to kind of like generate something of the collar and then like regenerate the cat by like highlighting that area and writing cat. So you could definitely get there. It would take a bit of experimentation and a bit of using a few of the different tools that we have to do it.
I see. All right, perfect. One last thing I want to ask you that comes into my mind is, where do you see and how will these changes affect the e-commerce industry, and where do you see this going further into the future? How will this affect us?
Sure. So I think one thing that is definitely going to happen is a change in how we shop. Right? We're gonna and like I'm very positive of this. I think we're gonna soon see a co-pilot Bing. You must have used Bing kind of on the side of Microsoft, right? We're gonna have that kind of feel to Amazon. Like a co-pilot shopper as well as the normal search. Amazon have already put out job recs and hired those job recs for this back in May last year, right? So these people who are building this, like it was literally stated on the Amazon job portal, and they've been hired, and that they've been in the role for 6 months or however long it's been, right? So like this is going to happen, I would imagine, by next year, right? By 2024. And this is going to fundamentally change the experience of shopping, right? Fundamentally, because PPC, like how the hell is that going to work? I think the AI would probably be trained on each individual customer's shopping behavior and habits and clicks and all of that kind of data, and show them like optimized 5 optimized products rather than a page of 50, right? So it's going to be a totally different experience in shopping. It's good, and like I think it's going to be great for sellers who are on top of this. I mean, exactly how this all plays out is who knows, right? But I think that's number one. I think a second thing, which is sorry, Marcel, you're gonna
what?
You look like you're going to say something, but maybe not. Okay.
No. I was listening. Sorry.
Okay. I think number two is kind of, and this is where a lot of the Googles and the OpenAIs and all these companies are trying to build towards. I don't think Amazon, but like a lot of these people are trying to go towards is this kind of like the personal assistant. So this AGI, which is like artificial general intelligence, like a step beyond generative AI, where the AI like actually understands things and can learn, which is not what happens with generative AI. Generative AI, you're training it on input data similar to, and then it can generate something similar to what it's been trained on, but slightly different, right? It doesn't have any innate intelligence to it, right? You're just trained it on loads of glasses of water, and then you put in your glass of water and it out pops it, your glass of water, in a similar kind of setting to the ones that's been trained on, varied obviously with your prompt, slightly different, right? AGI is an entirely different beast, where the computer actually can like understand the concepts of this is a glass of water and humans drink it, and the AI at the moment can recognize the shapes and the whatnot, but it's not kind of like doesn't have an intelligence, right? And I think that's something that people are building towards, and people like Bill Gates have said, you'll never go to Amazon again if when we have AGI and we have these like intelligent machines that you'd say like, oh look, I need a new cat collar, personal assistant, please order me a cat collar, and it will know your cat and it will know your preference and it will know everything, and you wouldn't it'd be a waste of your time to search something.
Size, color, and
Exactly. It would be a complete waste of your time to kind of go and search for anything. And like, you know, I'm sure you've done this on Amazon where you're looking at, like, I ordered a 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 today for like coffee, and like I couldn't, like, I don't know, it's 800 milliliters, 600 milliliters. I don't know how many milliliters I need, right? And I was trying to like work it out. It's a bit of a it's a bit of a customer pain point in that way, right? And kind of moving to this AGI where it just, well, I'm like, it knows me, it knows I drink, you know, 3 cups of coffee a day. So what, like, I ask you for the 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 and off it comes in the post, and it's the right size one, and like it's of a quality, like, you know, it knows that I like stuff which is cheap, but like, you know, good quality. So not just like some random factory in China, like something that's actually been designed, you know, to a basic level. So like, you know, it would have all those preferences and understandings and kind of do that. So
basically know you and your habits and whatever, all around you.
So I think like that one is going to be, I think, probably more disruptive to Amazon. Like no company lasts forever. I think the first one we talked about with the search, I think Amazon will be very well adapted to do this. And I worked closely with A9 when I was, you know, in the company. I think they're going to be very, you know, they're gonna be very good, and like they might lose some PPC. You know, PPC is like the cash cow right now that might die in the short term, but in the long term, like it's, you know, the shopping experience is going to be better than anywhere else, right? It's going to be incomparable to shopping in, you know, going to the supermarket, right? If like, or anywhere else, if you're getting like these personalized Amazon recommendations, like on a search engine, it's going to be incredible. But the second one of these personal assistants, that I think is going to be more of like a, maybe an interesting industry changing one where like it could, you know, be a layer on top of the Amazons, the eBays, the Walmarts, and it could just pick many of them, right? And that would be dangerous for Amazon, because it, you know, would lose that customer interaction.
You know, they have to adapt. I'm sure they'll find a way to adapt. That's what usually happens with all the businesses. They will not last the same way forever. And in the end, it's important to make the best out of it and prevent and provide actually the customer with the best experience, because everyone knows that Amazon and Walmart alike are customer centric. They don't care much about the sellers themselves. As long as there are sellers coming in on the platform, their main objective is the actual customer to be happy and to be well, you know, treated. That's the most important part. So yeah, in the end, that's the goal. Awesome, Max. I think this is very insightful and a lot of good information. Thank you for that. I think we've covered everything. Would you like to add something, or just let people know how they can reach you? I'm going to put here the website. This is the first thing everyone should know, Ecomtent.ai. That's the website, and that can do wonders. Yeah,
they can do wonders. And yeah, I'm on, I think my most active social media these days is LinkedIn, quite sadly. So I'm on there all the time.
Not sadly, that's a good one. Yeah.
So you can find me there, Max Sinclair, on LinkedIn.
I will add in the description your LinkedIn as well, Max. And,
great.
Yeah, people can get in contact with you and also reach on to Ecomtent.ai. And yeah, I think we also have a very special offer for everyone that's watching and being with us here today, right?
We do. We have this 10% off Ecomtent. So you can generate your product listings 10% cheaper using this code.
Thank you for that. So, you know, it's very nice of Max to provide everyone with this discount code. Use it wisely, and take advantage of the whole AI that can definitely help you in generating better images and a lot more images for your business, for your Amazon or e-commerce business in general, if you ask me. All right.
Yeah.
Super. Max, it's been great. We know that this is going to be published later on, but I'll see you in Jersey. I'm looking forward to that.
See you in Jersey. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
Take care. Bye, everyone.